Who do you think will grow bigger biceps? The guy doing 6 different curl variations every single session, or the guy doing just 2? You know, think about it. If doing more exercises actually worked, then everyone in your gym would have insane arms, but they don't. And the reason is simple, because more is not better. Better is better.
It's like thick.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that?
What does the bicep king do for biceps?
I went from 13-inch arms to 18-inch arms naturally. And my arms didn't actually start growing until I stopped doing everything and actually focused on these 2 exercises. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you exactly which 2 they are, why they work better than everything else that you're doing, and how you should be doing them so that your arms actually start growing. And make sure you stay until the end, because the way you program these actually matters more than the exercises themselves. If your arms haven't changed in the last 6 months, it's probably not your genetics, it's your exercise selection, because most guys train biceps like this. They walk into the gym, do a barbell curl, then a dumbbell curl, then a cable curl, then some random burnout to finish, and then they think they actually crushed it. But here's what actually happened. They hit the same part of the muscle 4 different ways, and they left everything else completely untouched. And the honest truth is, that's not training, that's just gonna be spinning your wheels, and let me show you why. Your bicep is not just one muscle. It has 2 heads. The long head, that is gonna be the outer part of your arm, and that's what gives you that peak when you flex. And then you have the short head, all right? That's gonna be the inner part. That's what gives your arm the width, that full thick look from the front. You know, when your arms fill a t-shirt sleeve, that's the short head. And then there's a muscle that most people have never heard of, and that's the brachialis. It sits underneath your biceps, and when it grows, it literally pushes your biceps upward and outward. And that's what's gonna give your arm that 3D look. You know, arms that look big even when they're completely relaxed. Now, you've probably heard people say that you can't target a specific head, and they're not wrong. Every curl is obviously gonna use both heads, but you can emphasize one over the other. And the way you do that is really simple. It comes down to where your arms are relative to your body. If your arms are behind your body, then the long head is going to be fully stretched. Arms in front of your body, that means your short head picks up the slack and it's going to target it a bit more. And then when you have a neutral grip, which means your palms facing each other, then the brachialis is going to be emphasized. And once you understand that, you don't need 5 exercises, you actually only need 2. One with your arms in front for the short head, and one with your arms behind for the long head and the brachialis. That's it, your entire bicep is covered. And we're gonna start with exercise number 1, and that is the machine preacher curl, right? This is the exercise that completely changed my arms, and it comes down to one thing, and that is the stretch. When your elbows are forward on the pad, your biceps is locked into a deep lengthened position, and that's the position most people never train in, and it's the exact reason why their arms stop growing. And honestly, the machine is even better because you literally can't cheat. Your arms are pinned. Every inch of the rep is going to have tension on your bicep. So the way you do this is by sitting down, make sure that your arm is glued into the pad, and from here you want to let the weight pull your arms all the way down. Feel the deep stretch at the bottom, because most people stop halfway, so make sure you go all the way down. And from there, just curl the weight up and think about driving through your pinkies and then squeeze at the top. Then make sure that you lower the weight under full control. Don't let it just fall down, make sure that you're controlling all the way down. So 3 things you want to focus on: full stretch at the bottom, clean curl up, and slow negative down. And if you can't do all 3, then the weight is probably too heavy, so make sure that you drop it. It's not about ego, it's about tension and growth. If you don't have a machine, there's no problem. You can do dumbbell preacher curls or spider curls. Both lock your elbows forward. There's the same stretch and the same stimulus. And for these, you want to aim for 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Like I said, slow negatives, and make sure you take every single set to failure. Now, that first exercise handles the short head, all right? And here's the thing most people get wrong. They stop there, all right? They do their preacher curls, maybe some cable curls, and then they think that they've trained their biceps. But they've actually only emphasized half of the muscle, which brings me to the next exercise, which is, in my opinion, the most important one to have the full 3D look on your biceps, and that is the incline dumbbell hammer curls. And if you want that 3D look, like I said, this is it. And remember the brachialis that I mentioned at the start of this video? This is where you actually train it. And we're gonna be doing a hammer curl with neutral grip, which is gonna shift the emphasis away from the short head and force the brachialis to do the work. Now, here's why the incline part actually matters, because when you sit back on an incline bench with your arms hanging behind your torso, that's gonna put the long head fully in a stretch position, and that's exactly where it grows best. So you're getting the long head emphasis and the brachialis emphasis in a single movement. There's 2 targets with 1 exercise. So the way you do it is really simple. You're gonna set the bench to 55 to around 65 degrees, sit all the way back, let your arms hang straight down with your palms facing each other. And from here, you wanna make sure that your elbows stay pinned to your side, because as soon as you shift them forward, you're gonna lose a lot of the long head stretch. And from here, you wanna curl the dumbbells up, keep the neutral grip locked, and squeeze at the top. And then as soon as you get to the top, slowly let your arms fully extend at the bottom. And as soon as they're at the bottom, pause for a second and go back up. And yeah, for this exercise, make sure you focus on clean reps. You know, don't swing, don't use any momentum, don't rock your body, because you're not locked into a pad like the other exercise. So it's gonna be tempting to cheat, but make sure you don't. Keep your back flat against the bench and keep your elbows still, and just let your muscle do the work. And if this bothers your elbows or tendons, try behind the body cable hammer curls. It's gonna have the same long head stretch with a smoother tension curve throughout the whole movement. And for these, you wanna aim for 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, and make sure that you pause at the stretch and control the weight all the way down. Now, having the right exercise obviously doesn't mean anything if you program them wrong. So here's how you actually use them, all right? You wanna focus on hitting your biceps at least twice a week, because arms respond really well to frequency as long as your form is clean and that you're recovering. And what I do is I follow a push-pull leg split, but I make sure to put my biceps on my push day. I know it sounds backwards, but your biceps are completely fresh on push day. They haven't been pre-exhausted by rows or pull-ups, so your pump is better, your contraction is better, and the quality of every single rep goes up. So I recommend every single person to try it at least for 4 weeks. You're gonna feel the difference immediately, and you wanna focus on doing, like I said before, 2 to 3 sets per exercise, all to failure. If you're doing more than that with real intensity, then you're probably not actually going to failure. And this is the part that actually determines whether you're growing or not, because exercises don't build muscle, progressive overload builds muscle. All right, the exercises are just the vehicle to get you there. Every single week, something needs to improve. It doesn't have to be weight, you know, it could be 1 extra rep, slower eccentric, a deeper stretch, you know, better form, all of it counts, all right? But if you're lifting the same weight for the same reps with the same form month after month, then nothing is going to change. So the goal is simple. What you want to focus on is making the movement harder over time, not easier and not the same. Now here's the honest truth, and I almost don't want to say this because it's not exciting, but this might be the most important thing out of this entire video, because none of this works without the basics, and that is going to be your protein intake, all right? You need at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day, right? Not just on training days, not just on rest days, every single day, all right? And also you need to be in a caloric surplus, because your body cannot build new tissue out of nothing. If you're not eating enough, your arms will not grow, period. And then for your sleep, you want to focus on 7 to 9 hours of sleep, because recovery is going to help you grow, because recovery is growth, all right? Because you don't grow in the gym, you grow when you sleep. And I'll be real with you, I didn't figure all of this out overnight. You know, I've also spent a lot of time doing 6 or even 7 exercises for arms, chasing a pump instead of actually chasing progress. And I was also wondering why nothing happened, right? And I didn't see the results that I wanted until I started stripping everything back and I picked the exercise that actually matched the anatomy, right? And what I did from there, I just committed on getting better at them every single week, and that's when my arms finally started responding. So yeah, if you're frustrated right now and you feel like you're doing everything and getting nothing, trust me, I've been there, and the fix is really a lot simpler than you think. Just stop doing more and start doing better, all right? And one more thing as well, I see this all the time. People mess up once and then they spiral. They skip a workout, miss a meal, and they think it's over. It's not, all right? What you do next is always going to matter more than what you did last, all right? If you mess up, good, move on. Next meal, next session, next workout. Just make sure that you keep going, right? Because honestly, consistency doesn't mean perfection. It just means keep showing up and keep doing what you're supposed to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Now you know, 2 exercises, that's it, all right? Machine preacher curl for short head thickness and incline dumbbell hammer curls for that 3D long head and brachialis look, all right? No wasted sets, just 2 movements that actually cover your entire biceps. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you would like to see next. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these videos on this channel, as well as vlogs. Just let me know in the comments what you would like to see. Also, if this video helped you, make sure you like it, subscribe if you're serious about growing, because like I said, I'm going to be posting way more of these. And drop your current arm measurements. I want to see in the comments how big you guys are. Pause. Yeah, I'm going to be reading the comments. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. As always, love y'all. See you in the next video. Peace.